to the second round, sticking in this football game. Before we get into the second round, by the way, let's look at our second round rules. A great take gives you 400 points, a good take 200, an okay take gives you 100 points, and a bad take is a big fat goose egg. And to Josh Allen now, the quarterback of the other side, who had a rough Monday Night Football performance, 4 turnovers, 3 picks, and a fumble. Multiple of those coming in the fourth quarter of this football game. This is something that Josh Allen has struggled with throughout his career. You think about the fact that since he's come into the NFL, he's led the league in turnovers, and even post Brian Dable, he still led the league in turnovers, going back even to 2021 when he did have Brian Dable, so he's really struggled in that regard. So I'll start with you, Alfred. I'm sorry, I'll start with you, Barry. Do you think the Buffalo Bills can win a Super Bowl with this version of Josh Allen?
Absolutely. You can definitely win a Super Bowl with a Josh Allen. It's just about how you tailor the offense around said Josh Allen, right? They've never had a running game since he's been there. Like, he's pretty much been the prototypical running back for this team. They need to start to balance out this offense, because what you're starting to see is an offense that's really, really unbalanced, and he tends to make a lot of mistakes because he feels that that's the only option to go to. I think there's a lot of pressure on him to throw to a Stephon Diggs because there's been some offseason tension. You even seen on the sideline where, he pointed to his head talking to Josh Allen. You can't do that to your quarterback. So there's a lot of issues that they have to have, but it needs to be an organizational issue. I don't like the way the GM has put this team together. I don't like they've been struggling running the football for years now. It's time for them to kind of take the reins back from Josh Allen and give him a better running game, so you're not giving him those chances to make these grand mistakes that he does make in these big games as well as the AFC title games.
Yeah, and again, you're right. It's something that he struggled with, and it's something that Brian Dable was kind of able to rein back to a certain extent when he was the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. The pieces were better. Again, there's also the Buffalo hasn't taken advantage, or at least been able to structure the salary cap around the fact that obviously he was on the rookie deal early. They got to an AFC title game in that span, but now he's on this big extension. Maybe it takes up some of the salary cap. However, we have seen some other teams succeed. With Patrick Mahomes' contract, Dak Prescott's contract, they've been able to put together a solid roster there as well. The Rams did briefly in LA with Stafford. So, the question about whether or not they can do that with Josh Allen is a legitimate concern. To you, Alfred, now, do you think the Buffalo Bills can win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen, given his recent struggles with the turnovers?
I do think so. I personally feel that the Bills are the second best team in the AFC, only behind the Kansas City Chiefs, which I know is ironic because the Chiefs also took a week 1 loss. Like Barry did say, I do agree that the run game has been flat. But however, Josh Allen, he's an elite quarterback. You gotta admit, his numbers are fantastic. Yes, last night was rough, but people got to remember, you can't panic after just a week 1 loss. I mean, it was a loss that went to overtime. It was a close game. He just happened to face a really good defense that was ready for him in the Jets. Look at all the pressure of last night. You're on the road, divisional game. September 11th, ESPN Monday Night Football. The crowd, and again, I was in that building last night. The crowd was that atmosphere that would have took any visiting quarterback out. 9 out of 10 of them. So I just chalk it up to a bad game last night. But I'm not gonna panic and say that the Bills need some serious work on offense. If you think the Bills are not a contender, judging them just from last night, I think you're crazy, and I would like to drink some of what you're drinking.
That's interesting too, and listen, it's I don't know. Again, I think with Josh Allen, I don't know if I necessarily consider him, I certainly don't consider the Bills the second best team in the AFC, at least from a roster standpoint. I think probably give Cincinnati the edge, Baltimore the edge. Yeah,
that's on paper, Bryson, but we're talking about results. The Bills, look at their win totals last season before, their success. That says otherwise.
But I could also argue, though, the Cincinnati Bengals have been to back-to-back AFC title games with Kansas City. But listen, it's a fair take. I'll get to you, Dalton, right now. So I'm not, because I'm curious here. Again, you're kind of new to the grid, so I'm sort of unfamiliar with your opinion of Josh Allen. So do you think the Buffalo Bills can win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen at quarterback?
Well, I mean, of course they can. I just think the better question is, will they? And is it likely that they will? I don't think it's likely that they will, even though it's certainly possible that they can. I mean, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. It's not a question of can they, right? Here's why I don't think they will. I want to start by saying number one, this whole thing where it's like, oh, they don't have a running game, that's a problem. Who were the Kansas City Chiefs running backs last year? Who were the Rams running backs the year before that? Who were the Patriots running backs the year before that? The last 3 Super Bowl winners have not had great running games. Or excuse me, the Buccaneers the year before that. These are not teams who had great running games, right? So, like, the idea that a quarterback can't win a Super Bowl without a running game, like, I think has been proven wrong over and over and over. But to get to specifically Josh Allen, he's capable, right? But the problem, like we all saw last night, too many turnover-worthy plays in big moments for him. It's been a consistent thing for him throughout his career. It's cost him games in the postseason before. I think there need to be real changes to the way he plays if he's going to win a Super Bowl. That doesn't mean he's not going to be an incredibly successful quarterback. He's not going to, win a ton of games. But when you come up against a great defense on the road in a stadium like that last night, you have to be able to win those games. Like, I don't want to hear this excuse that, oh, the Meadowlands was loud, any quarterback would have struggled. Like, yeah, that's football. Like, you're going to run into tough environments on the road. You're going to run into adversity where you don't have the best running game. Like, the best quarterbacks win anyway. And so I think Josh Allen is very talented. I think he's capable of winning a Super Bowl, but I don't think he's shown what he needs to show to make me believe that it will happen.
Yeah, and it's you mentioned the fact that all the things that need to happen in order for him to win a Super Bowl. The beauty of it for the Buffalo Bills, I guess the optimistic side and for Josh Allen is these are all things that are within Josh Allen's control. Some of it maybe needs to be, this sounds weird, but maybe a little bit of a DNA or an identity shift to a certain extent. I mean, there's a play where he's going to be 5-6 yards short of a first down, and he's out here diving over 2 guys. It's like, you're putting your body at risk, you're putting the football at risk. He's a very reckless player to a certain extent. That's something that the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen too. You heard his frustration in the post game. In MetLife Stadium, that was a real concern for him. Finishing with you, Devin, do you think the Buffalo Bills can win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen at the quarterback position?
I think the Bills can win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen at the quarterback. Now that Aaron Rodgers is hurt and the Jets gave them kind of the division, it kind of opened back up for them. And because, in my opinion, I felt like at first the Bills' windows was closing. Because each year they felt like they was at the door, but then it seemed like each year they kept taking a step back each year. And then as far as Josh Allen, I feel like what Dalton and what you were saying, Bryce, is I feel like the Bills need to take the load off of Josh Allen. You having the run game will help Josh Allen out so much when you have a dependable running back the way he can just hand it off. Because once again, we didn't see another butt fumble kind of yesterday with Josh Allen. And that's because that you keep putting the games into his hand for him to do so much. You want him to pass it to Diggs multiple times so Diggs can stay happy. Then he also got to feed the other wide receivers. And then you asking him to kind of be your leading rusher because James Cook, he do okay, but he's not going to be your horse getter, your guy that keeps getting you over 100 yards each game. So I feel like the calling for the Bills is have to be a running back for them to actually make it to a Super Bowl because they have a good defense also because that defense also with Josh Allen turnovers kept them in the game with the Jets. So I feel like once they can get Von Miller back, hopefully they can find a run game to the offload of Josh Allen load a little bit. I think the Bills still have a chance.
You know what? You said yes, but I think what's really interesting and a take I don't know if I thought of, and it's weird to think about this given what his ceiling is, or at least what we've seen his potential is, should Josh Allen be more like a game manager? It feels crazy to say, but like a game manager type role where it's kind of a balance with the running game. Dalton made the point about, running games are, and I've talked about this on my show, Carving It Up, that running games aren't necessarily indicative of contending for and winning Super Bowls. Certainly the last 4 years they haven't been, but I think very interesting takes, man. We got a lot of comments here in the comment section. We'll get to some of them. Sincere Brown says MetLife is cursed. That has seemed to be the case, particularly with injuries. Shaheem Taylor says get rid of artificial turf. Again, I agree. I just don't know if that's the reason Aaron Rodgers got hurt. I think that was more just a freak play than anything, just the way his heel was bent there on that play. Sincere Brown says Josh Allen IQ and awareness in Madden has to be low. The media overdid it with the Jets from the hype by the Hard Knocks, the Hard Knocks primetime game, etc. Not make excuses, but that turf has got to go. And so we got a lot of Jets defense is good comments. Some people are saying that the Bills can win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen. So let's go through point totals because I thought everybody actually had a pretty solid round. So Barry went first. Barry, I thought it was a solid take on your part. So I gave you the, let's see, so that's, let me do, yeah, okay, so I gave you a great take. I give you the full points for a great take. I thought, you did a good job at articulating the fact that.
Here's what I will say as well to your you can't win, you don't have to have a great running back to win Super Bowls. Those particular quarterbacks are miles better than Josh Allen. Go ahead.
That's a fair point. And
miles better.
You got some Mahomes, you got some Brady. Stafford had a big time run.
Miles better.
Miles better than Josh Allen.
IQ wise, miles better. Miles better.
Sure, IQ wise, but that's not what you said.
Yeah, that means that you're better, Dalton. If you're smarter, you're better.
Okay. Not necessarily. I think Dak Prescott's one of the 5 smartest quarterbacks in the NFL, but you never put him in the top 5. But that's
I put him over Josh Allen right now.
Okay.
We agree. We agree, Barry.